can't handle hot loads. Now, what they're referring to is the stories of how the Colt Delta Elite is unable to handle full power 10mm and has frame cracking issues and stuff like that. Now, I have a bunch of things on the table to help illustrate that that is, at least in my opinion, false. Now, I have my Delta Elite here, and one of the issues in the very beginning was, yes, that there was a frame cracking issue with these guns, and there was actually an issue, I believe, with pretty much all 1911s, but they had an issue mostly with the 10mm and then super high round count 45 ACP guns, where the frame would crack, well, right about here. Right? So what would happen was that happened more often with the 10mm because it was a more powerful round, more energy, more stress, all that. So what Colt did was, well, they cut out that section. That's why, you can see in there, there's a cutout section in your frame rather than just a little hole for the takedown. And that eliminated the issue because the stress point was no longer there to, well, be stressed. And that fixed that issue in basically all the guns. So as far as it not being able to handle full power ammunition after that, well, I have here, because this gun, I believe it was 1986 or 87 when the Delta Elite was originally released. And at around that time, most of what the ammo you could get was this stuff. This is some of the fabled Norma 200 grain bullet, 1200 feet per second, and that is what is considered full power 10mm. So why would Colt release a gun? Colt's a big manufacturer. They got fancy lawyers and everything. They got liability to figure out. Why would Colt release a gun for a cartridge and it not be able to handle it? Now, my own personal testing. So here I have some of my hand-loaded 10mm, right? This is a 200 grain bullet doing about 1200 feet per second, chronographed through this gun. And I've put several hundred rounds through the gun without issue. Here's the load I carry. This is a 200 grain XTP bullet doing about 1200 feet per second, again, without issue. These guns are perfectly fine running hot ammunition. Now, honestly, if you're going to run hot ammunition through a gun, of course, hotter ammunition is going to put more wear on a gun than light ammunition. But I've not seen any real issues with the gun, nor have I heard of any people in my comment sections say, oh yeah, I put hot loads through the gun and it blew up. It's just people saying that because people get a little bit finicky and skittish when there's an issue in the very beginning and then they correct something. So hope that clears that up. Feel free to let me know if I'm wrong about anything.